Good evening. Welcome to Xplore and our lovely new theatre. My name's Dawn and it is my pleasure to be introducing our Science of Christmas show. Before I hand over to Kieran, I'd just like to say a few words to you all. So we're a science discovery centre in North Wales. 2020 has been an exciting year for us. We've rebranded and relocated into the heart of the community in Wrexham Town Centre. We couldn't have done this without the amazing support of the Inspiring Science Fund, a partnership between UK Research and Innovation, UKRI, and Wellcome, and a targeted regeneration investment programme from the Welsh Government in conjunction with Wrexham County Borough Council. However, this year has also been a major challenge for us, and as we stand in December, we've needed to close our doors again to help in the global efforts against coronavirus. This does have a positive side. Our virtual show tonight gives us the opportunity to not only keep in touch with our regular visitors, hi to you all, but also to reach new audiences. I have a few favours to ask of you. Firstly, to all you grown-ups watching, please could you think about donating a few pounds to help us maintain our science centre until we're allowed to safely open our doors once more. Please visit localgiving.org/charity/Explore Science. I'll remind you again after the show, and hopefully you've had a fantastic experience and need that URL so that you're ready to donate. Secondly, to all the children and young people watching this, we'd love to hear your comments about the Science of Christmas show. So let us know what's your favourite part. And lastly, to all of you, we're in need of more people to join our evaluation study, looking at how we can make Xplore a success. We're looking at the potential our Science Centre has to support the well-being of future generations agenda. If you could share this message and spare us half an hour to help with the study, please email projects@explorescience.co.uk for more information, and we'll be able to send you the link to participate. That's it from me for now, and I'm going to hand over to Kieran for the main event, our Science of Christmas show. Enjoy!
Okay, Noswaith Pawb, good evening everyone, and welcome to our live Christmas show. We're going to be combining science and Christmas to see the science behind some of the things that make Christmas feel Christmassy, and at the end we're going to try and answer a couple of Christmas mysteries as well. But I want to start the show by getting a Christmas atmosphere set up. So we've got our roaring fire on the board behind me, but I want to create a real roaring fire in our science theatre. Now if you've got a real fire at home, you will know you'll have to put some logs on the fire or some coal on the fire. And if you don't have a real fire at home, when you've made fire elsewhere, you can use different sorts of fuel. So today I'm going to use a fuel called methylated spirits, which is a flammable liquid. If you've been camping, you might be familiar with that. So I'm going to light the fuel there. Now, in order to have a fire, as well as our fuel, we need oxygen, which thankfully there is quite a lot of in the room at the moment, and we need the heat, which I've provided from our firelighter. Now, in order to make this a roaring fire, a nice big roaring fire like the one on the board behind me, I'm going to pop this cylinder over the top, and I'm going to create something called a fire tornado, which is my favourite name of any science demonstration. So I'm going to start spinning the platform, and we will get our fire tornado. We also have one we made earlier, a little bit of footage, so you can see it slow down. So the reason... That's one of the foot's fallen off, that's why. Okay, so just like adding more fuel to a fire can make it bigger, adding more oxygen to a fire can make it bigger as well. So as I drag in the air from around the cylinder, we are adding oxygen to our fire to fill in the gap where the hot air has risen up to create a bigger fire. And the reason we get our tornado shape is because I'm spinning the air around. And just to demonstrate how important oxygen is to the fire, when I cover the fire and stop the oxygen getting to it, the fire will go out. Now, if you don't have a real fire at home like this one, and obviously please don't try and create a fire tornado at home, you will have some fire in your home at Christmas time, probably with candles. If anyone's adults are like my mum, your house will look like the candle factory at Christmas time. And the most fun thing to do with candles is obviously to walk around and blow them out. Now, I want to create a sort of sciencey candle now that you can't blow out, but you can change its colour. So I'm going to pop my safety goggles on, and I'm going to use this bit of lab equipment. This is called a Bunsen burner. Some of you will be familiar with this from your time in school. And I'm going to light our Bunsen burner like that. So we've got a nice fire there, but what I can do, I can open this valve at the side and get a roaring flame, so a hotter flame. So what I said before about oxygen being important for a fire, this is another way to demonstrate that. I've opened the valve, let more oxygen in, and we've got a bigger flame and a hotter flame. Now, to change the colour, all I need to do is add some chemicals to our flame. So the first chemical I'm going to add is copper. And we get a nice green flame from our copper chemical. And I can also create a nice red flame using a chemical called strontium. So you might see this sort of science used quite a lot at Christmas, because fireworks use this exact science. Fireworks are just different chemicals burning inside the firework. So you will see this a lot at Christmas time. So these are some of the chemicals found inside fireworks. So we've created a nice bit of fire now to get in a Christmassy mood, but of course being cosy and having a fire isn't the only Christmassy atmosphere we can have. We can also have a nice snowy atmosphere as well. Now, many people dream of a white Christmas at this time of year, but we often don't get one. But someone who always gets a white Christmas is Father Christmas. If he looks out of his window, he will always see the snow. Now, I can create some snow in our theatre today using some fake snow. So if you don't get a white Christmas, you can use some fake snow to have a white Christmas in your own home. So all you have to do is add the snow to the water and you get the fake snow. You can give it a twirl around like that, and then we can add it to our house. Now, there's actually quite a bit of science involved with fake snow. Fake snow is actually something called a super absorbent polymer, which just means it's a material that can absorb lots and lots of water. And this science has uses not just in creating fake snow, but actually in space. Astronauts use this science when they're on the way up to the space station or travelling through space. Now, a rocket launch takes a long time, so the astronauts will be sat on the rocket for hours before it actually launches, and then it might take several days for them to get where they're going. Now, obviously, when they're travelling through space, they can't exactly pull over to go to the toilet if they need to. So astronauts actually wear big astronaut nappies that use super absorbent polymers, a little bit like the fake snow. So there is some science you might be using at Christmas without realising it. Now, as well as snow, when Father Christmas looks out his window, he might be lucky enough to see something that looks like this. This is a picture of the Northern Lights, or Aurora Borealis, and in the South Pole they also have these sort of lights sometimes, and they are called the Southern Lights or Aurora Australis. Now, these are created by solar winds interacting with particles in the Earth's magnetosphere, and some people who live at high altitudes, like Father Christmas in the North Pole, are lucky enough to get to see these things. But for many of us, we'll never actually get to see these live, so what I'm going to try and do is create some northern lights in our science theatre. So I'm going to use an old Xplore favourite, an experiment called a whoosh bottle, with a little bit of a difference this time to try and create some northern lights. So for this experiment, I'm going to use our methylated spirits again, but I'm going to add a chemical to our methylated spirits. So the chemical I'm going to add is called boric acid, and just like with our Bunsen burner science candle, we will be using a chemical to change the colour of a flame. I'll give it a quick stir, and then add it to our whoosh bottle. So we already have oxygen inside the bottle, so I just need to swish round the fuel with the oxygen so that we have fuel and oxygen all the way through our bottle. I'll pour off the meths that we don't need. And then I'll just give the top a quick wipe to get rid of any excess fuel. So we've got our fuel, we've got our oxygen, so all we need now for our fire is some heat. And there we have the northern lights in our science theatre. Now again, a bit of a Blue Peter moment from us. We do have one we made earlier that you can see in slow motion now. So you can see on that slow motion that the green colour burnt off, and then we also got a traditional orange flame. So that was the chemical that I added, the boric acid, burning off before the rest of the fuel. And you can also see I jumped back a little bit because that was a really big flame in our slow motion bottle then. So we've talked about a few of the things that make Christmas feel Christmassy, but I said I also wanted to try and answer some Christmas mysteries. And the first Christmas mystery is how Father Christmas fits down chimneys. So to demonstrate Father Christmas, I have a red balloon here, and I'll give it a shake. You might be able to hear it's got some water inside it. So people are full of water, about 70% water. So I put some water inside to mimic a human trying to get down a chimney, in this case, Father Christmas. So of course, being a chimney, at the bottom we will have a fire. So I'm going to create a fire inside our chimney place. So I'm going to pop Father Christmas on top of our bottle, and obviously he is wider than the gap here, so let's see if he can fit down. He's halfway there. He might be a little bit stuck in the chimney at the moment. Oh dear, I think Father Christmas might be stuck in the chimney. I do have another one set up. We can try again. So we'll try one more time with that one. Part of the fun of live science is that things do go wrong sometimes, so it's not to worry. So we'll create a fire at the bottom of our chimney again. Oh, and Father Christmas just went down the chimney in the other one. We'll try with this one, and if not, I do have a slow motion of one we did earlier. Father Christmas is starting to go, and I think he is going to go down the chimney this time. He's giving it a bit of a wobble, and there we go. Okay, so I'll show you a slow motion of that one as well.
Ready?
Okay, so the reason that experiment worked is because when I dropped the fire into our glass bottle, it heated up the air molecules a little bit like our fire tornado that we used before, and those air molecules started moving around more as they had more energy. Now, when I popped Father Christmas on top of the bottle, he prevented oxygen getting to that fire so that the fire went out. Now, once the fire had gone out, those molecules that had more energy because they'd been heated up, all of a sudden lost some energy and they moved closer together. And this created something called a partial vacuum. So, some air from outside now had room to get into the bottle, but Father Christmas was in the way. So the pressure from the air outside trying to rush into our bottle forced Father Christmas into the bottle, even though he was bigger than the entrance to that bottle. And the reason he gave a little wiggle on top was some of the air trying to rush past him created him to have a little wiggle. So finally, our final Christmas mystery that I want to solve is how Father Christmas is able to visit so many homes in one night. Now, there's a few reasons for this, and I think parents might be particularly interested to solve this mystery, because I'm sure you get asked this every year. Now, the first reason is that not everyone gets their Christmas gifts on the same night. In some countries, people get their Christmas gifts as early as the 6th of December, whilst in other countries it can be as late as the 6th of January. But Father Christmas still has to do a lot of homes in one night. So how does he manage to get round all of them? So part of the reason is time zones. That is always an easy answer to give. Time zones means he's got a longer time than just a few hours. But the second reason is that he and his reindeers have some help in moving their sleigh. So I'm going to show you the sort of help Father Christmas has now. So I'm going to bring our ladder round here. And we're going to create a rocket to demonstrate a rocket-powered sleigh that Father Christmas might use. So just like before, I've got a bottle and I'm going to pour some meths into our bottle. So this is the same science as we had in the big whoosh bottle, but this time in a smaller bottle. So I'm going to give it a shake. Pour off the meths that we don't need. And then all we need is some heat to get the bottle going. So 3, 2, 1. We can launch the sleigh. Now we also have a slow motion version of that from before as well, which you can see now. Whenever, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed those slow motion shots. Josh, our cameraman, was particularly brave in getting those shots, so thank you to Josh. So that does bring us to the end of our Christmas science show. Hope you enjoyed our experiments, and I look forward to being able to welcome you back in the new year for a live science show in our science theatre. So have a really good Christmas, Nadolig Llawen Pawb, and I'll hand you back over to Dawn.
Brilliant, thank you Kieran for that amazing show. Can we have a big round of applause please for Kieran? And also to Josh and Vaughan who've been our technical support tonight. Very good. Okay. I can't see what I'm trying to say. Oh. Other way please. Thank you. So I hope you've enjoyed tonight. Don't forget to comment on what was your favourite part. Perhaps it was the whoosh bottle, perhaps it was the sleigh, the snow, the fire tornado. So many brilliant demos tonight. Thank you very much. So our next show coming up in January is called Destination Space. We're hoping to be able to run the full show in centre, but some of the content will also be online. So don't forget to donate if you possibly could, please. The address again was localgiving.org/charity/Xplore Science. That will really help us to continue to deliver these fantastic experiences for you all. So Merry Christmas from everyone at Xplore, and we look forward to seeing you in 2021. Bye!